Hi, welcome to this week's History with Holly. Today I want to do another video on Wordslut. I finished it now, so this will be my second and final video on that book. So the last few chapters, one was about profanities, and that was very interesting. She does a little disclaimer at the start saying, probably don't listen to this around your children, that sort of thing. But it was really interesting learning about kind of the phonetic appeal of different words. And of course, it's from a feminist perspective. So she was thinking about how many profanities are focused on masculinity, and particularly the imagery of the phallus, and the idea that the masculine is a penetrative, so the masculine profanity is around penetration. For example, suck my dick and get it up ya and fuck you and stuff like that. And she also talked about the way that different really, really common swear words like fuck and cunt and things like that they're really fun to say, and that's one of the reasons they're so popular, as well as their shock value and that sort of thing. They're actually popular. And she talks about how much she loves swearing. She's a big swearer, and her friends are as well. So I don't know, I'm not that big a swearer, but it was really interesting hearing about, and also she talks about the history of it and that sort of stuff too. So yeah, she sort of goes through a list of examples of feminized insults like "suck my clit," which will serve the same phonetic purpose and will be just as interesting to say and as easy to say and as appealing. So that's pretty interesting. Quite crass, very crass, but very interesting. And then sort of at the end, it was summing up about the way that language has evolved and the different feminist movements over the years that have changed, that have attempted to change the way the language works. Like Wiktionaries in the 80s were established instead of dictionaries. Obviously, dictionaries are for a particular masculine identification. So that was really interesting, learning about different feminists, and a woman that wrote a book with a whole feminist language. It was kind of similar to The Handmaid's Tale. I can't remember what it was now, but that was really interesting. Anyway, so yeah, Wordslut, a fascinating view of the feminist history of feminism in language, how language impacts our understanding and knowledge of gender roles, and how the way we use language impacts how we treat people of different genders, not just women, but of course people that are non-binary, LGBTIQ+, and that sort of thing, trans, everyone. But yeah, it was just a really fascinating read. I can't recommend it highly enough, and it's definitely something we need to be talking about, especially looking at, she looks at the example of Donald Trump. It was only published in 2018, so she thinks that, and one of the last chapters was about the election, and she looked at Hillary Clinton and Margaret Thatcher and how they were criticised for having very unattractive voices because their voices were deep, their voices were quite, they had a lot of vocal fry, which of course has always been a negative thing, and how Trump capitalised on that. So it really does speak to an area of growth that we need to do in our society. It really does speak to insidious ways that language does impact the way we see people in different genders and the way we can access gender in our public discourse. She also talks about other cultures, like other languages like Hebrew, and they've actually come up with a non-gendered pronoun rather than they. There's actually a non-gendered pronoun in Hebrew that's in the singular form. So there's progression being made all over the world, and we all need to jump aboard and be part of it. So that's it. So Wordslut by Amanda Morrell. Can't recommend it highly enough. Great to listen to as an audiobook. I listen to it as an audiobook. Thanks for listening. Okay, bye.